Hello, welcome back to another Portworx Lightboard session. My name is Ryan Wallner, and today we're going to be talking about topology awareness and what this means to Portworx and the volumes, PVCs that you'll be using on Kubernetes and how they're placed across the topology. So for reference, what we mean by topology is really the physical or logical boundaries that exist between different Kubernetes and Portworx nodes. So typically these are racks, zones, and regions. Portworx is deployed as a daemon set across the servers or VMs in these regions, zones, and racks. So these PX nodes will exist on a rack within a zone within a region. Now, when Portworx is installed, you need to be able to label what these nodes are. There's ways to do this through the environment in which Portworx is running or through Kubernetes labels. So typically what you'll do is set px/region, px/zone, and px/rack, such as rack 1 for a specific node that relies on rack 1 in zone A and region 1. This is sort of how these labels would look. So again, zone A and region 1. Now, once the labels exist on the Portworx nodes or through the Kubernetes labels, Portworx can take advantage of these labels or environment to schedule replicas. And so what do I mean by that? Now, when you schedule an application on Portworx, say you're running a MySQL deployment, and we have a single replica of MySQL, and that MySQL instance uses a volume from Portworx, and this volume has a replication setting of 3. So again, this volume itself, you can set repl equals 3. And so this means that there'll be 3 copies of data of my MySQL database synchronously replicated across my topology. Now, there is a default topology awareness, meaning if there's these labels already existing in the system, the default topology awareness will consider region and zone, meaning it will automatically spread the replicas across these. Or you can be more explicit. So in your storage class, say if this was our storage class here, we have a replication setting. We can have shared or other parameters that we've talked about in other videos, but we can actually provide zones, regions, and racks as well. So in the zones parameter within our storage class, we can put say zone A and B. And regions, we can put region 1 and 2, and in racks, finally rack 1 and 2. So if I were to configure my storage class for MySQL to use this type of storage, 3 replicas across all of these zones and regions, what will likely happen is we will have 1 replica in region 1 and on zone A in rack 1. So we'll have a replica here. And the second replica, we'll go ahead and probably choose region 2 and zone B and rack 2, right? So we have the widest range of availability, meaning we can lose an entire region. The third replica will probably switch back to this region and pick either zone A or B and rack 2, so we'll have another replica within region 1. Now, what's nice about this, because Portworx can be topology aware, right? Our replicas are distributed across our regions and zones and racks such that we can lose an entire rack. And because we have 2 other replicas, the application remains up with no downtime. We can lose an entire zone, and that whole zone and all the racks in there will lose a replica, and we still have 2. Furthermore, we can lose an entire region, right? And because we still have a 3rd replica, we have the highest availability. Now, keep in mind with different replication settings, right? You would have 2 replicas distributed across, say, 2 regions or 2 racks, or even say you want the zone to be zone A, but give racks 1 and 2, so you have 1 in each rack. That way, your this database has better performance in terms of it's not synchronously doing replication across bigger fault domains, but still has the availability. If you lose an entire rack of servers, you're still up and ready to go. So that is topology awareness with Portworx. Now remember, the important aspects here are to make sure your environment or Kubernetes labels are using region, zone, and rack in the px/ and set them equal to which region, zone, or rack that particular Portworx node belongs to. And then expose these zones, plural, regions, plural, and racks, plural, in a storage class to enable your deployments and stateful sets to take advantage of topology awareness. And by default, remember, these 2 will automatically be picked up even if you don't have these in storage class, if you set them. So hopefully that makes sense, and stay tuned for more topics like this from Portworx. Thanks.